Okay, mi hermano Norberto, man, I'm happy to see you. This is the first episode. I'm starting our podcast, as you can see, right? And this is the first episode. I'm like, I had to bring my boy here, bro. And who's my guy?
You couldn't find anybody else, any other guests to be on this thing?
Yeah, but a lot of them are stupid.
You couldn't get Dave Chappelle. You couldn't get Bad Bunny. You couldn't.
¿Tú crees que yo conozco a Dave Chappelle? Si fuera Dave Chappelle, no
Tú eres comediante, ¿no?
Si yo tuviera Dave Chappelle aquí, tú no estuvieras aquí.
No, pues there you go. I'm Plan B.
You're plan A for now.
Yeah, I like that. I'm Plan A for now.
How you doing, brother? How's everything?
Life is good. Mm-hmm. It's hot. It's hot out here in the city.
Yeah.
But it's good. I think it's good for me. We're living in a terrible world right now.
Yeah.
The world's on fire.
Yeah.
Everywhere you look is bad news. Bad news after bad news after bad news. But fortunately, I got my health. My family's good.
Beautiful.
And for now, it's okay. The community's not good, but I'm doing okay.
Yeah, it's good because you started the whole pero it was your idea, right? And it was the only Latino channel for Latinos. It's the BuzzFeed for Latinos, right?
I wouldn't necessarily say. I mean, it was BuzzFeed for Latinos essentially, but I wouldn't say we were the first to do it because there had been other ones that had happened at the time.
That's true.
But
there was Flama before.
There was Flama. I think Mito was around at that point.
Mito was still around.
But I will say that it was myself and 3 other people, right? Jasmine, Ontiveros, Jenny Lorenzo, and Alex Alvarez, and we all got together and we're like, let's do some cool shit for our people.
Which was cool. It's and then you guys fought, right? To be like, yo, let's do something to represent. And we're reaping the rewards nowadays because I go on social media. Sometimes I get on TikTok and people be like, Gadiel, last night I talked to a dude that was like, I saw you when I was 7 years old. He's 7 years old, bro.
That's it.
And he's like, I'm 17 now. He's like, do you have any advice for me? And I felt like an old man. I don't think that feels good. But, at that time, we needed that conversations. We needed to talk about our culture. Is that what motivated you guys in order to start Pero
I think part of it had to do with the fact that, we wanted a seat at the table. And I think that's something you grow up with. We want a seat at the table. We want to be able to represent our community. We want to represent people who grew up like us.
Yeah.
First generation millennial Latinos in the United States. And so we were like, we want to sit at the table. We want to sit at the table. And for some reason, they kept on not wanting to, give us a space at the table. Mm-hmm. So at that point, you're kind of like, well, if you're not going to give me a seat at the table, I'm just going to build my own table. Mm-hmm. So that's exactly what happened. And I think and it took a long time and it took a lot of work, but I think that's one of the beautiful things about it is that it was a project that was driven by passion. A passion not just for making our own type of content, but also a passion to represent. And I thought that, again, this was 2014, 2015. And it's just at that time, that was something that was, that was important to us.
How do you feel that Norberto then and seeing society how it is now? What would you say? What do you think he will think, and what do you think now? Because I feel like there's been a massive culture shift within our culture and also an American culture itself.
Yeah, I think what I do love is the fact that we don't have to hide who we are. Mm-hmm. We don't have to hide our Latinidad. Mm-hmm. We're not, we don't have to adapt to an American culture. We are American. Mm-hmm. We're Latinos. We're Mexican American. We're Dominican American, right? We're American. But the thing is, we don't have to. There's not one single way of being an American. And I think this country is full of immigrants, full of children of immigrants, and we're part of that. We're part of that society. Mm-hmm. So I think that's one of the things. Back in the old school, there was this philosophy that you had to adapt to American culture. And I think that was something that I
assimilate.
I never understood this wanting to assimilate. Mm-hmm. I never understood that. I never understood why we had to assimilate to American culture. What is American culture? And
it's crazy because you're coming from LA, right? And LA is very Mexican, and we're talking about there's 3rd, 4th, 5th generation Mexicans. How can you tell these people that are indigenous people of that area of Los Angeles, right, and California, and there's also Arizona, and there's how can you tell those people that live a certain lifestyle that they are Mexican? They're like, you have to assimilate to American culture, right?
Why do we have to assimilate?
Yeah.
I think that's the bigger question. And I understand that not everybody had the same upbringing as I did, right?
Yeah.
Like for example, in Texas, there were schools out there that if they caught you speaking Spanish, the teachers would whoop your ass.
No
Like
way.
that's just a reality, right? So I understand that. I understand that some people had to assimilate for survival. But again, in my upbringing, I never understood why we had to assimilate. Why do we have to be ashamed that we speak two languages? Why do we have to be ashamed that we love, we love Michael Jackson and we also love Juan Gabriel? Why do we have to be ashamed of our roots and our heritage? And what does this call for us to wanting to assimilate? I remember somebody being like, Latinos like will only be seen if we are wearing suits and doing good, doing great things out there in the world. And it's just like, why do we have to do that? Why do we have to prove our worth? So I never understood that. And so I think with Better Like, it was just a celebration. It was a celebration of who we are as a community, as a people, but also expressing how proud we are of who we are, of our background, of our families, of our ancestors. Whether we speak Spanish or we don't speak Spanish, we can be proud exactly who we are.
What do you think? What do you think the culture, Latino culture, needs now? Like, what kind of shift do we need now today? Because I just feel like right now there's a massive attack on our people and who we are, right? And it's political. We are the scapegoat, right? And we're seeing this everywhere from day one, right? So what do you think needs to happen to have this shift? Like, for people to be proud of who they are, bring back that love of who we are as a culture,
I don't think it's ever like. I will say this. I think sometimes we have to acknowledge that there's a problem with our community. We're very fractured, for one thing. I think Latinos as a whole, like, we want a type of unity with Latinos, but I don't think that that exists currently. I find that we are often broken and segmented, and it would be great if we can all come together and unite, right? Because when we come together, we're the second largest voting bloc in the United States. But I don't think we are united, right?
No.
I think and to that point, I also think we're not a monolith either. And
that's okay.
And that's great, but I also think we have to stop trying to see ourselves as one giant community. Instead, I think it's good to be able to be, to look after our own communities, while also, working with other communities as well, working with other communities to foster change.
Yeah.
I think that's what we need to be able to do, and not just think of ourselves as Latinos, but also as people living in this world, living in this country.
Everybody's having a human experience, right? And then I feel like economically, how's everything going in the United States of America, right? Like, a lot of people are struggling. The majority of people are struggling, and I heard that there is a phasing out of the middle class. So, sometimes I think when people are hurting, they look for someone to blame, right? Oh, my life is bad because of that person, right? And I think we have to come up with a way to bring everybody together again, which is possible, right?
I think it's possible, but I also think celebrating oneself is doing enough. I don't necessarily think that these days we have to bring everybody together. I think you do that by just celebrating who you are, and then others will be able to relate to that. Others will be able to be like, I want to be part of that party.
Yeah,
instead of trying to bring everybody together, I think instead just build community where you are. You don't need to be trying to get everybody across the country to come together.
I think one of the toughest things that now we're seeing images, right? We're seeing images of people being abducted, going to elementary school. I saw a baby being ripped off a woman's arms, and it was heartbreaking to see something like that. How can we see something like that, and how can we shift? And it's so hard not to be angry. right? And how can we monitor anger, right, during times like this? Does that make sense?
I mean, that's the thing about it. I think like this is gonna sound so
Yeah.
childish, but I always remember Mr. Rogers. Did you ever hear what Mr. Rogers said
No.
after 9/11?
What he said?
He said, "Find the helpers." During this time of chaos, find the helpers. And I think that's an important philosophy. I think like during these times of like we're seeing these images of ICE coming into these communities, ICE ripping away our families. Like we gotta, yes, create awareness about what's happening, but also like share resources, find people who are actually on the ground doing the work, and amplify their work, amplify the work of different immigration groups that are helping out legally. A lot of these people that are being detained. Like how can like amplify a lot of resources, amplify people's rights, amplify and motivate people to know their rights. Always amplify ways that people can know how can they defend themselves against ICE. I think we got to be able to be more productive in the way that we use our social media tools to make people more aware.
We have like this influencer, right? And she's a right-wing influencer that is like she's flown in planes with Trump and stuff like that. Laura Loomer, and she has a massive influence within her people and her base. And she came out and she said that we have 65 million meals for alligators, right? And I think this is just regurgitating some type of a hate towards people that look like us.
I mean, we don't need Laura Loomer to let us know that the right has an issue with Latinos, right? Like we know it.
Yeah,
we've known it since the orange Cheeto came down the escalator at Trump Tower. Since he came down, we knew when he first called Mexicans rapists. What more do you need to know? What other proof do you need? To let you know that this man and his administration is coming after Latinos. He's coming after brown people. And it doesn't matter whether you have papers or not. He's coming after all of us.
I love what you're doing with TikTok. You're killing it. You have like this. Can you talk to me about that? Like what started that? Like I love it by any chance.
I mean, it's something that I've always been curious. Like I have a knack for being curious about the world that I live in, and specifically like the little details. I like the little hidden gems around the city, and I've always been curious about history, especially like in the places where I live, whether that's LA, whether that's New York. I like to know about how did certain buildings come about? Why does the world that I live in look like this?
I feel like as humans we have that curiosity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think it's an important thing. Like, how is the world built that we live in? So I think like for me at least, I wanted to be able to I'd always been curious about like little hidden details. So I do on TikTok. I do this thing called kind of interesting things, and what I do is I go around the city and I film little details here and there.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, little oddities, little curiosity, bite-sized pieces of information.
As a matter of fact, every time I walk somewhere and I see something different, I'm like, Norberto got to do something about this because why is this here now?
Yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, I think everybody has a certain sense of curiosity, right? Whether it's sometimes it's the public art that's in the streets, sometimes it's the architecture, sometimes it's the engineering that goes into building a bridge. Like there's little details that you can find all around the city. And I think for me, I've always been the curious type. And even when I was in college, I was reading blogs by different. Different history blogs, like Ephemeral New York, Hidden NYC, Atlas Obscura, like these blogs that would talk about these like fun, interesting, curious details of the city. And I've always been curious about that, to explore more about that. So by the time TikTok and and Instagram Reels came out, it kind of gave me a platform to be able to do that, to do these 1 minute, 2-minute videos where I can just talk about these tiny details that are around the city.
That's cool.
And it came about during the pandemic. Nobody was nobody was going out, so I was just like, let me just go.
Let me try this
Let me
thing
go
out.
walk around and explore. Let me go
Dude,
try
does
things
that
out.
like does that fulfill you? Does that fill you up? Like, does that give you life in a way?
It totally gives me life.
Hmm.
It gives me life. I think what I love about it is that it allows me to talk about something that's not about politics, that's not about Latinidad, and it's not about like something incredibly depressing. And I
Yeah.
think like I use my free time. It also allows me to like go out into the world, go out and explore, go out and walk around the city, find a new neighborhood.
And so, what's the next step for Norberto? Like, what is it you want to do now? Like, what does that look like?
I would love to be able to continue doing more of that, more history content, be able to interview more people, and be able to work with more institutions, more museums, to continue developing that. Because right now, currently, I'm only doing those videos, once a week, and then on my free time, like I'm putting no resources behind it. And what I would
Yeah,
love
and
to,
you have to do your own research and everything.
I got to do my own research. I got to write it out, and I got to. I tend to go to the library a lot to find like images and stuff, and also find like books about certain topics. Like I'm going old school with it, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's important to be able to like, because it's important to be able to provide the correct information,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, but I enjoy doing that. I think that's what, and it's also like my happy place to be able to like shoot something, edit it, create something of mine that's not always about like, look at how terrible the world is right now.
I feel
world
like
is
we
on
need that
fire.
because everybody's with social media, everything is like so blatantly in your face, right? Like it's not humanly. I don't know. We're not built to know everything that's going on in the world.
It's too much doom scrolling.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah.
And I think like, yeah, humans are not. We're not meant to like just take in all this trauma that's happening.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's part of the part. And the thing is, I feel also responsible because in my everyday job that you kind of have to talk about this trauma in order to be able to fix it. Right. But that's why like in my everyday job, I do, we research resources, how to help people, how to, break things down. There's a bill in Congress. How do we explain this to people and how terrible it is? But I think like what I love about doing this series is that it gives me a break from all of that because I still love creating. I still love making social media content. But
Bro, and you were like making content like they were going viral. And we were experimenting.
It's still an experiment.
Yeah, it's still an experiment. But it was me looking back, I'm like, man, a lot of shit that we did was cool. You know what is my favorite video that didn't perform well? The ode to the taco truck.
What are you talking about? They didn't do well.
It didn't perform. It didn't perform.
They did over 1 million on Facebook.
On Facebook? No way.
Yeah.
On YouTube, that's what it was. It was like, what happened?
It
was for Facebook.
It was for Facebook.
It killed?
It killed on Facebook.
It was beautiful. It was
I to this day I'm like I think it's one of my prouder videos. We're experimenting. I think what I love about it is that we were able to like, yeah, let's just do something different. Let's do some cool shots of tacos, right? Like of taco trucks.
Bro, and when you finished that video, it was like La Raza. And for the way I don't know how you remember how you ended it?
I don't remember how I ended it.
In all about something about La Raza. And I was like, yes, La Raza. Even though I'm Dominican, am I considered La Raza?
Yeah, I think so.
Hell yeah.
I think some people find it problematic to say La Raza.
Why?
I still like because it's got. I get it. There's anti-indigenous some anti-indigenous history behind it.
What?
Yeah,
I thought it was like more indigenous, like La Raza.
Yeah, but also like it sounds cool, so that's why we all
Right?
said it. That's why we all said it in school. It was La
Yeah,
Raza.
if you think about it, yeah, because you're saying the race.
Yeah, but this is just like I don't know.
Race is such an issue in this country.
Yeah,
But goddamn, that was so cool.
but we're learning.
Yeah.
We learn.
Okay.
We live and we learn. But anyway, yeah, I love the taco video. But again, it's like look at the dumb stuff that we were making. Like
Yeah.
it was cool.
It was cool.
But it was fun, and I think that's what I don't know. I enjoy doing that type of stuff, and I think sometimes these days I'm more I'm more involved in like politics and what's happening in DC and what's happening, the atrocities happening in communities across the country.
Yeah.
Sometimes like I need a break from that.
Yeah.
Because it gets too
It's
overwhelming.
overwhelming, especially like you have to think about your mental. And right now we're talking about this epidemic of like male loneliness. That's what they're saying, right? I don't really have that because I got sisters, so which is cool. You know, if you got a sister, you good. That's how you end male loneliness. You know, give them a sister, right?
Sure. Yeah, but it's true.
Yeah.
You know, I got my sister. I got my brother.
Yeah.
We good.
So have you been dealing with any male loneliness or anything?
Male loneliness.
You with me right now, so you're not lonely, basically.
Yeah, I mean, male loneliness. What does that even mean? Where does it even come from?
I think people and I don't think it's like, oh, you know what? I go to, when you go to restaurants, you see mostly like women coming out with their homegirls, right? We hardly are seeing men going out together, going out to eat together, going out to drink together like we used to, right? So I think there's men are now reserved in going out because I guess a lot of us are not coming out to. Everything's expensive, so everybody is isolated with social media. La gente no visita como antes. Thank you for coming over my house and visit. But I had to tell you to come over and visit me in order to come and do this podcast. But
That's true.
So I wouldn't be alone. I started
true.
this podcast so I could see you.
Yeah, no, I noticed. Like I came in to hang out and I saw, what are these lights doing here? What's this camera doing here?
Vamos a trabajar and hang
There's
out.
a microphone. I was like, what? I thought we were just gonna hang out. Legitimately, I thought we were just gonna like, I'll just push record on something.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
good.
yeah,
And it's like, no, you're gonna be my guest.
Oh yeah.
Well then,
Good.
there it is.
You're the first guest.
I don't think that, look, for me at least, I experience loneliness, but it's different. I don't think it's male loneliness. I don't even know what that means. I think it's loneliness. The thing about, like I'm 36. So for me, I feel the thing that they don't tell you about is that as you keep getting older, the friends or the community that you built, that you had when you were younger, they get their own lives.
They build their own family.
They get married. They get got kids. They move away from the city. They start kind of you start kind of drifting apart.
Yeah.
And it's no one's fault. I think that's the natural course of things.
But I just don't think, because we're Latinos, we come from communities, right? Indigenous, black folks, every human being has come from some type of tribe, and that's how we survive socially. That's how we ended up where we are today, right? Where the things that we built, right? So being on your own and secluded, scrolling, is not normal, right?
No.
I miss those days. Like we're both millennials, so we lived at a time that people used to come over the house. My friends used to come over. Every time I came out here to New York, I had like 10 folks that were my people. We'll all hang out, we'll drink, talk. My mom, I haven't even seen my mom hanging out with her homegirls. Her homegirls used to be here at the house, right? She used to play music. I used to play music all the time, and people would just dance. Gen Z doesn't even know how to dance.
It's not really Gen Z. I think that's us.
Yeah, I know how to dance. I don't know. Well, you know how to dance too. With
I
dance.
don't know how to dance cumbia. I don't know how to dance salsa.
Yo,
Yo
no
no soy bailarín. That's just the reality.
You get down though. Tú te ves así. Tú te ves como si tú no te mueves, pero tú te mueves.
Yo no me muevo. No me muevo. But I think to that point, it's funny. Somebody said this the other day, and I want to be able to give them credit, but whatever. I've never done more community building than I am doing now. I feel like I'm a glue of sorts. You have to put in the effort to be friends with people. You have to be able to like invite them. You have to make the effort to hold everyone together, hold your community together. Because again, I think the natural progress of things, like people get their own lives. People get married. People move away. People have kids, right? Like they move to Jersey and they get
Everybody
a backyard.
Everybody in New York. All my friends from New York moved to Jersey.
Yeah. And that's the thing about it. And so now it's got to be up to you
to make that push,
to make the effort to continue that relationship. And again, it's no one's fault either. It's not like, the relationship is failing. It's just a natural course of things.
I don't think it's a natural course of things.
I think so.
Bro, if you think about it, like, bro, we used to dance by the fire.
Yeah, but you got to be the one to make that happen.
To have people just come over to yo, let's have a
Yeah.
conversation. Let's
Yeah.
talk. Nowadays, people sit there. I remember back in the day, people would be like, "Yo, the TVs, get away from the TV." Everybody's distracted because we're watching TV and nobody's talking to each other. But now it's not only the TV. Now it's also the phone. Right? And sometimes I catch myself at night, bro, scrolling. Like, cuando yo estaba supuesto, that's not something that's normal. I remember, like, back in the day, I used to lock myself in a room to read a book, and that was cool, right? I would like, entertain myself doing that. Now I feel like I can't just do that no more. Like, to turn everything off and sit down in my room to read a book, especially at nighttime before I go to sleep, feel like I need to be entertained. I need some type of, I need to scroll. I need to do something, right? So that's not normal, And we lived a time that we lived a time without that, so we know how that looks like. The next generation, they don't know what that looks like.
Now they're babies and they already got the iPad.
They're iPads. Jovito, you ever took an iPad away from baby? You ever seen that shit? They turn into little crackheads.
Yeah. I've seen that happen before.
They have
you take it away.
You take it away. Bro, es como si tú le diste tres patas.
The pinche mocoso and starts like, hijo de su, like, who's this kid? Whose kid is this?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Maleducados.
Da pena. I was in the barbershop, right? And I saw this lady, like, she was having an anxiety attack, bro. And I felt so bad for the mom. I could see her sweat. And this kid is just hysterical. Like, and she doesn't know what to do. She's panicking. And she's like looking on the phone and looking for games and looking for something like to show the kid while he's getting a haircut. It's like, and nothing is working. And this kid is super hysterical. I'm like, this is something that we've normalized now. It's normal now.
Did you ever get your ass whooped as a kid?
Hell yeah, all the time. Oh yeah, they used to beat me with brooms, extension cord, hangers, the belt.
I remember when they were with the vacuum, the cable for the vacuum.
Yeah.
It was like they turned it into a loop.
Yeah.
It's like,
did she walk the vacuum with her too?
No, the vacuum keeps doing its job. The cord is now is a second tool.
Bruh.
But I remember, I mean, that's the thing about it.
That was left field. Why the hell are you bringing that shit up?
Because here's the thing. I think that's different people, like different upbringings, right? Yeah. Again, I don't my parents, raised us, in a different way because their parents raised them, in that way. They didn't know any better. And I understand that now. Back then I didn't understand it, but I understand that now. And I feel like we
got to bring it back.
These days, you see kids, walking around being disrespectful. Now, I'm not saying corporal punishment is the way to go.
Sí.
But I'm just saying there's something lacking.
Golpe, puro golpe.
I'm not saying that.
That's what
you said that. I'm not saying that.
I think our parents were like that because they didn't know any better, like you said before. And it was like, it se desesperaban. That's all, the only thing that they know, especially from Campos, And I think people are looking for different ways to discipline their kids, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what the option is. I don't know what I'm going to do when I have a kid, right?
I think every parent goes through that, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's weird because I've seen that same thing that you just described about like the kid is hysterical and you got the parent trying to put games, hoping that the iPad is the solution.
Yeah.
And I, on one hand, it's easy for me to be like, look at this moment.
Yeah,
that's how disgraceful that we're.
It's
hoping,
like you want to beat them.
We're
for
hoping technology. Yeah, we're. No, I didn't say that. But we're hoping for technology to fix our problem.
Yeah.
But in reality, I can't fault the parent either. I mean, they're going through their own thing. Like, they don't know how else to control the situation, and they're hoping that this will be an easy solution. So I don't know. I don't know what the issue is. Then again, I don't have kids, so I can't.
Do you want kids?
Who am I to talk about?
Is Norberto gonna have kids or what?
I used to be against kids. Like I used to be like, I'm never having kids.
And what changed?
As I get older,
te enamoraste de una gringa.
No. As I get older, it's not a definite like a definite shutdown. I'm not saying yes to kids right now, but I'm also not saying no.
I would like to have a kid. I want like a little me walking around, even though like he's gonna be difficult because I'm very difficult. But
We have the privilege of knowing that it's an economic decision now.
yes,
Do you have the money for it? Do you have the space for the kid, right? Like, do you have,
is it even worth it?
I mean, and then also you got to be madly in love with,
The person.
The person.
And you know what? I give a shout out to all the parents, bro. Like all these parents, bro. Like for you to have a kid nowadays, bro, especially here in the United States of America, like you have to pay mortgage type money in order to put these kids on the daycare. Mm-hmm. We need to be talking about these things with these people. Like I me parte el alma because there's friends of mine that have 3-4 kids, and I'm like, they can't even take their kids out to feed 3-4 mouths or 5. And you really have to be killing it, like making millions a year in order to be sustainable to have these kids.
You can't take them to the movies.
Hell no.
That's rent right there.
That's rent right there. Not only that, not only the movies, you go to eat. What's to go, bro? You go to eat by yourself, or you take a date out nowadays. It's like $300. That's like a lot of dudes. Like there's dudes. I saw a video that goes like, "I've ghosted a fine girl because I ain't got no money."
That's wild.
And I was like, I could see that. That's heartbreaking, bro. When we were younger, like especially our parents, when our parents were younger, like, que cerveza era como $3, $2 for a beer. You know, like people paid $1,000 for a car back in those days, back in the 70s, right? And people, when we were younger, there was no such thing as pre-gaming. Pre-gaming was not a thing for us.
No.
Pre-gaming is a thing now, and it's so normalized. We're like, oh yeah. People will call me, be like, if there was a phase that you'd be like, yo, if you want to pre-game, you could come in my house. All right, we could do that. What do you think? Oh no, we could just go over there. Okay, cool. Now it's like, yo, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna pre-game at 6 and we're gonna leave at 9. It's part of the schedule before going out, and especially the next generation. We talk about Gen Z. No, it's so normalized with them. We're gonna pre-game and then we go out there and that's it, right? But una bebida son $25.
Well, there was an article that I read that Gen Z doesn't drink as much anymore.
I don't blame them, because if they drink, they're gonna go broke.
Yeah, you know what they also do? Sorry, I read. I don't want to come off as pretentious, but I read stuff.
Coño, you know that 54% of Americans do not read.
Well,
They're inteligente.
This
man reads.
I also read that somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. And that they said that every 5th adult is illiterate. Yo sé leer, no me mire a mí.
They don't open tabs.
Oh.
Gen Z does not open tabs. They close their tab after one drink. And that's costing a lot of bars like a lot of good business, because they don't open the tab anymore.
Yo, good for them.
For me, I think that's an instinct of like, I'm going to a bar, I'm gonna open up a tab.
Yeah.
For them, like they're closing the tab after one drink, which honestly is smarter. They're learning from our mistakes.
Yeah.
And they're doing good.
Good. I'm glad that they're doing that. Gen Z are smart, because we had the luxury to be like, let's keep the tab open. There was a luxury to that, right? They don't have that luxury. You take a girl out, that pena. Some dude takes one girl out, and guess what? Like, if they get one drink, he gets one drink, she gets one drink, that's $50. And on top of that, they already add the tips in there, the gratuity. No, they obligate the gratuity nowadays. So they force you to be grateful.
Do you still drink?
I stopped drinking because it hit you. No. I'd rather put that shit in my S&P 500.
So it was an economic choice for you.
Not only that, I just don't like the feeling afterwards.
Yeah. I had like I think I stopped drinking for the most part.
You did.
Yeah. I mean part of it was like, okay, like I don't know, I would get hungover after like 2 drinks.
You serious?
I'd go home and like sleep, and I'd be like, why am I hungover? I only had like 2 drinks.
You know what it is? You remember that video that we did, that mezcal video?
Yeah.
That video spoiled me. Like, after I had mezcal and I was introduced to the motherfucker, I don't want to drink anything else. I don't want to drink no ron. I don't want to drink no tequila. I don't want to drink nothing else.
It's because you drank the very best too.
Bruh.
You got spoiled.
I got spoiled. And one thing I noticed when I drink mezcal, my body doesn't feel like I'm poisoning myself.
It's natural. You
It's
get the good
natural.
stuff.
When I take a sip or even smell tequila, I take a sip of tequila, I already feel it in my body. Right? That you feel afterwards. First of all, you don't black out in mezcal. You recover a whole lot faster, right? There's no hangovers with mezcal, right? So it's like those 3 things alone. Like, why is that? Why is it when I drink a mezcal, I feel okay afterwards? You see what I'm saying?
La magia oaxaqueña.
The Oaxaqueña.
That's what it is.
But you're people from Puebla, son. Puebla's coming up with a mezcal, though.
We got mole. We're good.
When we gonna go to Oaxaca and drink mezcal over there?
I'll have one mezcal.
Bro, we're gonna be with the tribe, bro. These motherfuckers be talking Zapoteco, bro.
It would.
And we're gonna walk out of there speaking Zapoteco, bro.
I'm down. I'm all for it. I can learn a 3rd language.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, I heard it here. We're gonna go.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
Okay. We gotta talk about real shit, bro.
You don't start off with the real shit.
Why not?
You send the real shit in between all the fun stuff. That's the better like way.
We're not in Pero like this is a Gadiel Del Orbe show.
Yeah.
All right. This is new. This is different.
Yeah.
I'm trying to bring. I want to bring back culture. I also want to bring people I respect. Right. Like you, one of the persons I respect. Right. Every time we have conversations, we have some dope ass conversations, and not a lot of people are smart, bro. And I got a lot of dumb friends too. And I was like, ooh, I can't have a conversation with them. There's people that you lose brain cells. I think they're scientifically proven that some people, like, once you have, like, say hi to them, like, you lose like 2 brain cells just from a hi.
That's why I don't say hello to anybody.
Like, there's people that have meaningful conversations. I think your mindset is what sets your life up. Like, your mindset, the way you think, the things you learn about is what sets you up for life, right? The people you surround yourself with. You surround yourself with productive people, smart people, you become one of them.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But if you would, like, surround yourself with people that are not intellectually in your level, you start becoming dumber. They'll become better, and then you become dumber, and you start... And then that's when the movie Idiocracy comes up.
Yeah.
Do you feel like we're gonna be in Idiocracy? We're gonna be.
Oh, we already are.
Do you think we're there?
I think so. We got a felon for a president.
I feel like we're there.
We've been there.
You know what's crazy about that movie, bro? Like, it's a comedy, right? And the whole thing was like a lot of dumb people are reproducing more than everybody else. But I feel like that movie, it was a dumb fucking movie. It was supposed to be a stupid fucking movie that we forgot about. But the movie is so relevant now today more than ever.
Yeah. I'm convinced that if anybody in that cabinet were to do something as dumb as kill somebody on live television, nobody would care. That's how much chaos there is in the world right now.
Damn.
Like, we're doom scrolling our way. The thing about being on social media is that it goes in through one ear and out the other.
You're desensitized.
Yeah.
You ever notice, like, you get on social media, you forget what you were gonna do?
All the time.
All the time. Like, I'm gonna do this, that, and the third. And then once I get on social media, like, I was like, what the hell I was gonna do? I forgot I was taking a shit for like 3 hours. And then you ever had your legs go numb? That's crazy.
You're spending way too much time.
But it happens to everybody, doesn't it?
If your legs start getting numb, you should probably wrap it up.
You ever, like, fell from your legs being numb?
I have fallen before. It was weird, and it's dangerous too because you can break something.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, what
In the
fuck?
bathroom? You fell in the bathroom.
No, I fell in the hallway. Because the thing is, you get up.
So
and
you're
then
taking a shit in the hallway.
No, not in the hallway. I wasn't taking the shit either. It was just regular. I would think I was cross-legged. I get up, and then as I'm walking, the thing is, it takes a little bit of time, and then suddenly you can't feel your legs, and you're like, whoop,
boom, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is embarrassing. I hope nobody.
It's even worse when you gotta wipe. We stop it.
Cut this out. I think the idea of doing a podcast is an interesting one, especially for you.
Yeah.
I think this is it's a good vehicle for you. You're an entertaining person. You're funny as hell. You're whatever.
Stop it.
That's it. You. But I also think like it's I think when you first told me, it's just like everybody and their mom's already doing a podcast, right? Like how many more podcasts in the world do we need?
Yeah.
But at this point, you know what? Do whatever you want.
You know what it is that
haz lo que se te pega la gana.
Se me pega, ¿sabes por qué lo hice? Es que yo así I feel like a lot of things happen within our community that I feel like nobody's talking to our community. Right? And I feel like we're in this situation today because nobody that's able to defend us defended us. Right? I'm an American citizen. I have the freedom to say anything. And we also have a society that there's idiots with big microphones, which is a good podcast name.
That's a good podcast name.
Idiots with
big
microphones.
One.
But to be honest with you, I feel like these idiots with big microphones are hurting society. Right? And I have a child. I have to be like, yo, what are you listening to? What podcast are you listening to? What you're taking in really affects your life. You're ingesting any content that you are taking in is impacting you and your life and the way you think, your mindset. If you're sitting down and listening to a podcast for 2 hours, you're being programmed to think like that person because you're stopped challenging. There's only so much that your brain could be like, I don't believe this. I believe that. I don't believe this. And there's a lot of people don't do research anymore. So you're like, I'm taking this person for their word.
Yeah.
Right. So now 2 hours in, after an hour, your brain already shut down. You're not making your own rational decisions. So now you're sitting down 2-3 hours. Now you are an MMA fighter. Now you want to do ayahuasca and do archery. For some reason, there was something que ni te importa. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're 2 hours, your brain is being programmed to think like somebody else, to think like someone else. We live in a society that's very cultish. People, everybody thinks the same in some way, somehow. And we are not challenging the people the right way. And we don't even care about truth and reality and factual information. And when you don't care about facts and truth, you're deceiving yourself and the people around you. I see, if you are okay with false information, you're betraying yourself.
Yeah, we live in sorry. We live in a weird society right now that we can't tell the truth. What is the truth?
What is the truth?
Right. I think instead I think that one of the dangers about social media, like, yes, it's a way of life, but also like instead of finding out what is the truth, what we're trying to do instead is what news sources are out there that fits with the way that I feel.
I think with my biases, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's when the danger, because the people that really changed the world of science, right? I feel like science has changed everything. We're talking through a microphone. We talk to people like through a satellite, right? We're able to explore the universe. We know how big the universe, right, is because of science. We have vaccines and stuff like that, right? So these people have changed the world, but the only way that we have grown is by adopting real information and challenging these information in order for us to grow and learn. But if we are okay with false information, there's no growing. There's no learning. There's no shifting if we're okay with no truths.
No, we got a lot of people out there in power right now that are anti-science, anti-truth. Right? Like they're pushing all these false narratives, but also like I always remember Kellyanne Conway. She said she came up with the with the phrase alternative facts.
Bruh.
It's just like,
And they
it's not facts, it's alternative
it's
facts.
alternative facts, which just means it's not true.
Yeah,
It's not
it's a
factual.
lie. It's what it is. It's a lie.
It's
Straight
a lie.
up. But that's the world that we live in. And I think like what's funny about it is that like we're always like looking for misinformation, disinformation, how to combat it and stuff. But the people that it affects the most is our parents. They're the ones that are gullible enough to consume a lot of this information. A lot of these disinformation and misinformation campaigns that are happening, and they're not necessarily targeting us; they're targeting our parents. And so that's where we have to get into those spaces and educate and let people know what's right, what's fact, and what's a lie.
Yeah, we also with AI now you could make a fake video. It looks so good and so realistic that you could. There's videos that my mom has showed me, and she's like, "Mira lo que hizo esta mujer." I'm like, and I look at it, I'm like, "That's AI. That's not a real video." ¿Cómo así que eso no de verdad? Mira eso de verdad. Mira. I'm like, bro, that's AI. AI has gotten so good that you can't. Our parents are not gonna tell the difference. Can you imagine when we get older how AI is gonna be?
This is the end of the world at this point. We can't tell what's real anymore.
We can't tell what's real anymore. And sometimes I'm afraid myself because I'm like, am I also falling into like these biases? Because I'm pretty sure I have some things, some biases that I'm probably not right about. It's probably not factual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're not perfect.
We're not perfect. So
This isn't AI. This is all AI right now.
matter of fact, I'm not here.
Yeah.
This is the AI doing the podcast for me.
This is a prompt. Prompt. Make this happen.
Bro, I'm a, you know, you were talking about Kanye and Conway, right? And I was listening to Candace Owens, and she was talking about how that we never went to the moon, right? And then there's a lot of people that don't think that we ever went to it's become a conspiracy theory, right? And the people think the world is flat, right? And there's also people that think she said that dinosaurs are not real. She thinks that dinosaurs are not real. And there's a person that talks every single day and influences millions of people, right? And there's a lot of people, that's probably people now walking around going like, dinosaurs never existed. I'm like, what the hell? Where do you think these fossils are coming from? Right?
Here's the thing. People in power want us to be dumb. They want us to be uninformed. They want us to be stupid. Why do you think they're taking away money from public schools? Why do you think they're shutting down the Department of Education? Right? It's easier to manipulate people when they don't have proper education.
Yeah, proper education.
It's easier to get them to buy something to follow a certain ideology when they're not educated. When you don't know the core basics of science, of history, of evolution, like these are not opinions. These are facts.
These are facts.
This is science. This is science. And the thing is about science is that it's peer reviewed. It's an evolving beast, but it's peer reviewed. It's reviewed by hundreds of scientists who study this stuff. And yet people are always like, well, I read in a book that we didn't go to the moon.
No, they didn't read. They you know them what they were like. Yo lo vi en Facebook.
I saw a meme.
Yeah. I was talking to my aunts, right, and we're sitting there, and she's like, I don't believe anything in science. I'm like, whoa. And my two cousins are there, right, and I was like, and she was like, so she's like, you believe that we came from monkeys? And I was like, the evolution through science shows that, we evoluted from apes. And she was like, if that's true, then why are they apes? I'm like, for the same reason there's wolves around and we still have dogs. And she was like, so you believe that dogs come from wolves? I'm like, yeah. So then why and she's like, that doesn't make sense. So I'm like, girl, we see all these species of dogs that we created our damn selves. You think that's natural to have a little poodle walking around? Like, the poodle will not survive in the wilderness.
I have a question. At what point do you engage with that? And at what point do you just say, you know what? Live your life. I don't care anymore. Because I find that sometimes it's like talking to a brick wall.
Yeah, I do
right?
feel that.
Somebody is like, if somebody has all these beliefs,
You just let it be.
it doesn't. Sometimes I think like when all of this stuff first started, like this insanity first started of like people talking about having anti-science views.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the instinct is to be like, well, let me have a conversation with them and let me present facts and let me try to fight off the disinformation that they're consuming. And then after a while, you realize like
It doesn't do
that
anything.
they're gonna believe what they want to
They
believe.
want no
I still
man.
think it's important to I still think it's important to put out the right information. Don't get me wrong, but promoting proper information out on your social platforms, making sure that we're anything that we put out, whether it's a statement, that there's a source that backs up what we're saying. I think that's important. But after a while, when you're doing one-on-one with somebody who doesn't have any of these beliefs, like they're not going to listen to what you have to say. You can present them with the cold hard truth, and they're going to believe what they want to believe.
And you can show them evidence, all the evidence you want. Like the podcast, the Joe Button podcast when Mark Levon was having that discussion with that one guy, bro, and he was like, "No, the world is flat. No, I'm telling you, I study, I read, I'm smart." I'm like, all these people that are dumb believe they're smart, right? And no matter how many times he talked to him about science, he showed him evidence, like, and there was like no breaking through to him.
No.
There was none. He was just set in his ways, and we all know somebody that's like that.
I think a lot of I think a lot of Latino men are like that.
Bruh,
Somos necios.
necio.
Nah, and it doesn't matter if it's anti-science or about anything. Somos necios, and and also I think it's part of humanity that we don't like to be wrong. We don't like to be wrong.
It's always more of an ego thing.
Of course, it's an ego thing. It's an ego thing. It's also a fact that we don't like to admit when we are wrong.
When
We
we're
are a
wrong.
society that doesn't like to say I'm sorry or say that I'm wrong.
Or say, I don't know.
We also don't tend to. And keep in mind, I say all these things because I've been that person before, where I'm like, I don't say I don't know. I don't say I'm sorry, but we should. As we grow, as we become older, as we become wiser, hopefully, we should be able to say sometimes I don't know,
I don't know.
or oh, I got that wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was wrong. Oh,
But,
thank you.
but
Hey.
you know what the problem is?
Uh-huh.
Somos unos pinches machistas, and we look and we think about that and we think that we're weak because we went back on what we thought.
I remember, I think people don't like taking accountability.
You know why? Because taking accountability is for the weak.
Yeah. And then there's power in taking accountability, but we have normalized, this society has normalized not taking accountability. But there's a beauty in it, there's power in it. I released a video, right? And it was a song that was like, "El vecino se comió mi perro." That's when Trump came out. Remember, he was like, "They're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs." And I made a song of it. They're eating the cats, they're eating the dog. And then this Haitian lady sent me a message. She was like, "Listen, you're hurting the community by making a video like this." For me, it was just, I'm thinking I'm being funny. I don't think I'm hurting the community, right? And she's like, "You're hurting more with the community because, they're saying that Haitians are eating the cats, they're eating the dogs, and we're not doing that. And that's not," and it turns out it was a false narrative. I'm like, "Oh, I'm doing it because I'm just making fun of the whole situation, But when she told me that, I was like, you know what? You're right. And I thanked her for letting me know. And I was like, thank you for holding me accountable.
I think that makes us better people.
And she turned around and she was like, Gadiel, that's why I mess with you. That's what I like about you. Because not a lot of people have done that. You did not fight me back when you're like, you know what? If I'm doing something that is being detrimental to a certain community and I'm pushing down, and I'm telling you, thank you for holding me accountable, because I want you to hold me accountable. Because if you hold me accountable, I become a better person. If I hold you accountable, you become a better person. And you know what? If I don't hold you accountable, I become a horrible person.
I agree. I think that's the mindset that we should have.
Yeah.
That ain't the mindset that currently exists.
And right now I feel like we are rewarding bad behavior. So we rewarding other people that don't take accountability.
No. We have a president who takes no accountability
At all.
We have a president who's a felon
Yeah.
We have a president who talks down on people, who's a racist, who's a xenophobic, horrible man.
Yeah.
And yet, this man is incredibly successful and is the president of the United States.
What do you think that is?
Have a young person look at that and be like, well, if he can get away with it,
I can.
I can too. That's an alpha.
That's an alpha, yeah.
And it's just like, no, that's dumb.
And then now, not only that, like with the, and we had see all these podcasts are happening, right? Like, and I'm not gonna name no names, like the Nelk Boys, but or like the Fresh and Fits, but they talk about so much about the red pill content and being the alpha, right? And these are people that are informing the next generation of people, right? The next generation of people thinking the alpha, they shit on women. You know, they're shitting on black women, especially, right? And they want to be like the alpha so bad, and they have a misconception what an alpha is, right? And now they're adopting these analogies, like they don't take any accountability. It's okay to never say I'm sorry. I'm never wrong. So it's like now, since we're rewarding that, we're cultivating this culture of the next generation of people that think that red pill content is okay, and it's not.
It's just a different form of machista culture. That's what it is. And the thing is, like, you know, I think like it's up to us to be able to fight back against it through our actions, through how we talk about it. But again, it's a dangerous platform. It's dangerous to be able to tell people, hey, it's okay to do whatever you want, not take accountability, and shit on other people. Why are we doing that? And not only that, but these are grown ass men too. But how are we surprised by any of that? We know family members who are men who do the exact same thing.
And believe the same thing. I want us. And also, like, you can't impose your views and ideas on them, or like, we're not, because then we don't want to just like, oh, I want to change you to think like me. It's not that, right? But I just want all of us to be good people, right?
It doesn't cost you anything to not be an asshole. Don't be a dick,
bro.
It's free.
It's free.
It's free to not be a dick.
I think sometimes I think I'm like, you know what? We just need the old people to be gone.
It doesn't cost anything to be a considerate person.
All right. So now, what's the solution? What we gonna do?
Just don't be an asshole.
Okay, that's.
I thought that was clear. Was that not clear? I don't know.
That's how we're gonna change.
Treat people with respect.
Yeah.
Right, and also be open to accountability. Be open to criticism. It's okay to take criticism. Doesn't make you any less of a man to say I'm sorry.
I like that.
You know, we can mejorar la comunidad.
I thought you were gonna say mejora la raza for a second.
No. No. Mejorar la comunidad.
Okay. All right. I can mejorar la comunidad. That's what we got to build community, good communities, the people around us. That's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Because again, we can criticize all these people, but if the change doesn't start with us, what are we doing?
Then what are we doing? I love that. That's gonna be the next book. Change starts with us. We got gems in this podcast, bro. We killing it, bro. Yeah, even though we're gonna cut everything out.
You're gonna cut everything. Cut everything.
The Cut It Out, episode 1. No, hermano, I appreciate you coming through, brother, and spending time with me, like hanging out. I think we needed to hang out. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Bro, like, we'd hardly get a chance to do something like this, right? We're gonna eat after this. But
just if you didn't know. That's
what
we're doing.
But, how can people follow you? Tell them how to follow you, what Norberto's doing, like everything. Like, you got anything coming up that you want to tell them, let them know.
Yeah. Follow me at Norberto Briceño. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. Follow me on YouTube. You can follow me and my kind of interesting things that I'm doing around New York City and everywhere that I'm going.
Also, leave the comment what you like most about what we talk about today. What you continue this conversation, and I want to hear from you. I read the comments, so we learn from each other from having these type of conversations. Bueno, lo quiero mucho y la pase bien.